Hey, it's Molly. Welcome back to my YouTube channel as I am moving through a new series that focuses on how to work with specific types of energies related to the different modalities. And so these are videos to help you understand how these energies might show up for you if you have these energy signatures, and also to be aware of them in other people. So in this video, we're talking about some tips for working with fixed signs. And the fixed signs are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. And these are the energies that seek stability, consistency, what's reliable, what's known. The fixed signs are excellent at taking something to the finish line, at getting it there. They will stay the course. There is often a lot of determination, passion, and fortitude with the fixed signs. And so if you have this energy in your chart, it's good to be aware of how this energy runs through you, how you experience it, how you work with it. And so what I wanted to give you are some things to be aware of and also to question in yourself. Does this resonate for you? Is this true for you? Only you can assess that. But the idea is to be more conscious and more aware of how your energy works and how it shows up. So 3 tips for you. And the first one is that because the fixed signs want stability and reliability, there can be resistance to change, immediate change, urgent change. And you think about how that's basically the energy we live in our modern world, right? Things are always coming through, coming at us. Our phones are dinging, there's stuff happening, there's a lot of stimuli. And the fixed signs often need something that is reliable that they can count on. So one thing to be aware of is that before the fixed signs make change, they often need time to prepare for the change. And this is something to just look at in yourself or with others in your life who have fixed signs, where there might be some resistance to immediate change or things shifting right now in the moment. For example, my son, he has 4 planets in Leo, and when he's playing on the playground, if I were to basically pull him off the playground and say, we're leaving right now, there is then the tantrum heard around the world because he's not ready yet. So I've learned and observed with him, but also with many other people in my life, how the energetics of the fixed signs is they need time to prepare for the change. So now I say, okay, we're leaving in 5 minutes. We're leaving in 2 minutes, right? Like that gives him time to shift the energy in a different direction, essentially to let go, to release whatever energy he's in and move it to the next experience. So with the fixed signs, if you can give them a heads up and say, hey, can we talk in 30 minutes? Hey, do you have time next week or this weekend? Give them a heads up to prepare for anything that you're looking for, whether that's something that you want to discuss, a topic, a change, whatever. But the fixed signs need a heads up. Again, that's to help prepare for the change in energy. So that is my first tip for you, because it's different than the other modalities where the cardinal signs are often ready to go and the mutable signs can be doing multiple things at once. But the fixed signs are very different, and it's important to understand this. Now, I've also had many people in my life with very strong fixed sign energy. So this is stuff I've observed in my personal world. It's also stuff that I've really witnessed and seen in clients. Now, because the energy wants to remain the same unless you choose it, unless you're choosing the change, unless you're ready to make a change or shift things up, the fixed sign energy can be very attached. And I see it as wrapping paper around something or invested in something, like attached to it, invested. Really, the energy can be all together, right? It's like it's right here around this thing, whether that is, your routines throughout the day or your desk or your home or something. So there's this wrapping paper energy about how the fixed signs essentially focus and attach to something. So what this can mean is that when it's time to release, let go, sometimes that wrapping paper doesn't want to let go. And sometimes that wrapping paper is like covered in rounds of duct tape. It's like, this is mine, I want this, I don't want to change, I don't want to shift. So this could be good to just be aware of or consider. What is your energy wrapped around? And then what happens when you have to unwrap it? Because sometimes that can be traumatic for fixed signs. That can be difficult when you're not ready to let something go or for a different direction or change to appear. So again, just assess this for yourself. Look at whether or not this is true for you, how you feel about change, how you handle it, how you approach it. But know that part of what this energy is revealing to you is how your energy can be so much into something that it's consistent and reliable, right? That letting go, therefore, can take longer for the fixed signs. And I remember this with a number of clients where they were on a different timeline for their healing, for whatever had changed in their life, whether that was, the death of a loved one, which is certainly a big thing, or something changing, like they have to move out of a big home that they love, or there's something happening in the world that they don't feel like they have any control over. This is an energy to look at in yourself where, again, if you have that wrapping paper attachment to something and it's being forced away from you and that wrapping paper is being ripped off, there can be something there that just is really hard for the fixed sign energy to deal with. It can be something that, again, it could feel traumatic. It could feel like a big deal. It could feel like a significant loss. So just be aware of this and, of course, consider it for yourself. It also could be advantageous to do some kind of visualization around removing that wrapping paper, like peeling it off or taking it off. So that would be something to look at or consider, especially for any planets in fixed signs. Now, if you have your sun in a fixed sign and maybe your moon is in a cardinal sign, well, then there's things that could be a little bit easier for you to deal with, right, in terms of change. So it always depends on how much of this modality you have in your chart and how you experience it. Now, the third tip I have for working with the fixed signs is to play to their strengths. And this is true for all of us, right? That's where we shine, that's where we do our best, when we can do something we're good at, that we know we're able to create a result for, right? There's a confidence there. So with the fixed signs, they can be really good at consistency, at even running a marathon, taking something as far as it can go, getting a result. And that can be a wonderful strength to play to when the fixed signs understand what the structure is, what the process is, what the result is, and then they can get there. And I remember when I was in some various sales positions that the fixed signs that I worked with were excellent at reaching sales goals and performing and working within a system to get a result. Often very much about showing up, being reliable, having a very clear motivation for why they're doing something. This can be said for many types of people, not just fixed signs. But what really shines with the fixed signs is when they can perform, improve, get better, when there's a known environment. So this would be something that they can rely on, which allows the energy to understand what's happening in an environment. And then they can focus on being very productive and getting things done. See, this is different than an environment where things are always changing. Where like 1 week we're doing this, and then next week we're doing this. Or even if there's some workplaces where like you rotate desks or you change desks a lot, that's not something that the fixed signs are about. Again, they want to know what can be counted on. So if they're in an environment where the basics are known and they know how to show up, get something done, perform, get those results, the fixed signs can really bring in big results within an environment that is consistent and stable. So if you have fixed signs, this would be good for you to know about what you need at work, what you need with your family, what you need with your friends, things that matter to you because they feel good to your energy. So keep that in mind, because that's something here that once you connect some dots around it, you might find it very revealing of what does work for you, where you do feel good in a particular environment, and then where perhaps you don't, right? If there's too much change or too many unknowns, that can be very hard for the fixed signs. In fact, that can be very, very hard on the nervous system, because the fixed signs don't want things to be unknown. Like, there's a need to know, where am I going? What is happening here? What are the specifics? Or even just to know what they can count on. Again, that's good for the nervous system. Without that, there can be a lot of worry or anxiety about the unknowns. And of course, we all go through phases in life where there's big unknowns. But understanding what fixed sign energy needs can help support it, ground it, really give it that energy that it needs to be stabilized. So I hope this has given you some good things to consider and think about. As always, assess it for yourself, understand if it's true for you, if it connects with your energy, and then maybe even look back in hindsight and see if there were some things in your life that were a better fit because they worked with the strengths of your fixed sign energy signature. So as always, thank you so much for joining me. I hope this has been useful or insightful. I'll be back here with another video on YouTube very soon. Be sure and check out my playlist, the other videos I have for you, and I hope you find something else that you enjoy as you continue on your astrology journey. I'll see you back here soon.